Hello, everybody. Welcome to You Inside You, the podcast where you discover how to know, recognize, and trust the voice of your true self. I am Trina Schmidt, and I'm here today with Darcy Volden. I am super excited to present her. She's become a dear friend of mine. She has magical gifts, and Darcy is a gifted master light language channel and an expert manifestation, mastery, and reality creation teacher. She melds the science and spirituality on an extremely unique and fascinating process she calls QTMS, Quantum Transformational Manifestation Science, that will take you on the deepest level of activating yourself to the highest potential so that you can experience the fullness of the magic within you and life itself. So, this is perfect for our podcast, You Inside You. So we're going to welcome to the stage Darcy.
Hi. Thank you for having me. I am I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you, Trina.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I want to know about your journey. Listeners that tune into my podcast, it's all about discovering the you inside you, discovering the being awakening into what life is really about, listening to that inner voice of yourself. And I know you have a full story, right? So the journey of self-awakening and personal growth is really exciting, also very bumpy, right? So I want to know a little bit about you and how you came to discover that true
Mm,
true voice
mm.
inside of
Thanks,
yourself.
Trina. So I really do have a very remarkable story, if I do say so myself. And I say that as the me sitting here right now in this chair, looking back at the me, February the 15th, 2019. And I tell her, thank you for what you did for me and the stand that you were for me because she made a really radical decision, the me in 2019. Um, so, just to give you the short backstory, is that I used to weigh almost 300 pounds. And I was broker than broke, sitting on my couch of a suburb apartment outside of Austin, Texas. And one day I looked around, looked at this big fat body, and I'm like, this is not me. This is not my life. This is not who I am. I'm like, I'm not some fat, broke, middle-aged lady sitting on the couch wishing and dreaming of a different life. I'm like, this no. And I looked around and realized like these are all my creations. Like this is the reality that I generated that is based on the beliefs that I have about myself and what I'm worthy of, what I'm capable of. And I'm like, if I can have created all of this, then I have the power to create it all completely differently. And what that's going to require is a choice. And simply the choice was you either choose to change right now or not. And I got to
Mm.
look at 2 futures. For a moment, I looked at the probable, almost certain future. If I did not do anything at, uh, 47, 48 years old at the time, 49, right around there, if I do nothing and I just continue the way it is I'm gonna continue to gain more weight. I'll never go traveling, hiking, swimming, skinny dipping, wear a bathing suit, much less shorts even. I will be continuing to suffer in a body that's so uncomfortable, literally in pain. I'll be in a marriage that, although loving, is not fulfilled. And my dreams of traveling and exploring and becoming a model and a traveling showgirl, well, that's not going to happen. at all. And I'll be more miserable. Other choice, I can choose right now and say, nah, no. Who I really am is that I'm vibrant, I'm alive, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm traveling, I'm adventuring, I'm experiencing everything on my bucket list. I get to be a model, I get to be a showgirl, I get to be anything that I desire, and I choose that right now. And in that moment, everything shifted, but that required me to take action. So I say that, especially as a manifesting mastery teacher, of like, can't just sit here and just visualize it and think, oh, wouldn't that be great? I'd love that. We actually have to take action. So I'm going to tell you the action I took. I literally ditched everything I owned. Well, let me back up. Before I ditched everything I owned, I did hop on a program and I lost 130 pounds. It took me a year to lose 100 pounds. And that was the beginning of it right there. And I played that by starting, that was my first of 21 days in a row game, which we'll get to that, I hope, about the 21 days in a row. Can I do this, for 21 days in a row? But then, yeah, 2019, in that choice, I literally ditched every single thing I owned, all belongings for 49 years of my life that I have held on to. I managed to get everything down into 4 tubs, and I put them in my mom's storage, and I said, if in 1 year I can't remember what's in these 4 tubs, I want you to give them to Goodwill. I'm down to 2 tubs, by the way. And I manifested an RV, and I hit the road indefinitely. I had only $12 to my name and enough gas money to make it from Austin, Texas to Shreveport, Louisiana. I wasn't going to let that stop me because I know we just jump and we'll just, as I say, FTSO, we just figure this out.
Wow.
I know that somehow, some way, I'm not going to be sitting on the side of the road somewhere crying and I got to go back to Austin, Texas. Not going to happen. So anyway, that began what literally, I'm still on the road. We're 6 years later, and I went on a solo adventure in my RV all across this country, all through COVID, all through, like, it was incredible. I got to become a bona fide traveling showgirl. I got to become a model. People were asking me for my autograph. I've had treks across the moon and in the jungles and in the woods, and the stories that I have accumulated are so epic and so delicious and so like you can't make this stuff up kind of stuff. But that is how I choose to live my life. And that's why I teach what I do, because anybody that's listening, it's like, you're no different than me. I just got a couple little things figured out, and I put them into action, and I got my why. My why was because I don't want to leave this planet checking out of here without a smile so big it hurts, knowing full well it was the best life ever. Because if I made that other choice, I could walk out the door and die and be like, meh, a wasted life of what could have been potentially epic and beautiful and extraordinary. And so that's where I am right now, right here, is just smiling. Like I said, looking back at that girl at 2019, ah, thank you for pulling for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
lots more to the story, but that's the short part of it.
Wow. I got goosebumps. I don't know how many times through that story because you can just tell how like divine intervention just set over, and we hear so many stories at different times of people's lives, right? Early, crazy life events, near death experiences, loss of parents, finding yourself in all sorts of stuff, going through divorce. And I love how you talked about the two futures because you had this inner knowing. You had an inner knowing that probably has built up for a while. It's probably been nagging you very quietly, and we tend to kind of shut it out, right?
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
very little, we learn to shut our intuition down, our all knowing down, who we really are, because we're supposed to be molded into this space of conditioned, this is who you're supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to ask you, especially for the listeners, of really finding that true voice, and how how did you how did you know? How did it come across? Is there a way of figuring out what that little voice is all about, and is it really to be trusted?
Yeah, such a great question, Trina, because I really feel that knowing what I know now, it's something that we can truly develop, that we can really hone in. And so in the beginning, it's kind of like building a muscle, like before for like many of us, it's just like there's so much static, there's so much noise, there's so much of the voice, that's in there, that's coming from our past programming and our belief system of what we've been taught by well-meaning teachers and parents and family and society and all that, of how we're supposed to do it here. you know Even though innately, like, it in our body, like, it just feels so wrong. I mean, like, you know we get here as a little baby, and now we got these two big people that are giving us the instructions, and it's like, oh, okay, we definitely do not do that here.
Yeah.
Okay, make sure, better never do that
No,
one.
no, no.
Oh, that would be real bad if I did that. And so, oh, don't do that one either. And by no means, never, ever, never do that. And don't ever think that or even feel like that. And don't even say anything like that. No, but somehow deep down, like, you just know. I think for a lot of us too, or people that were brought up in the church, at some point, it's kind of like, but my heart tells me something different. My
Yeah.
heart tells me that the truth for me is this, and it's not that. So I think, we've got that innate truth. And usually how we know it is because it feels like it just goes against what everybody else says, but it's like, dang it, it's like, and if it were, I always tell people too that I'm working with, we go through this little journey of, like, kind of being in this vacuum. Like, if you didn't know what you look like, you didn't know your name, you didn't have anybody there judging, it was just on this own little planet, like, who are you? How would you be? How would you dance? How would you act? How would you express yourself? Like, what would you do?
Yeah.
And that's the truth. That's the
Mm,
truth of who we are. And so
mm,
that's where that discord in our life comes in, because there's the hollerings of the heart and who we want to express ourselves as, and then there's all this,
mm.
shouldn't, you can't, and better not, and all this. And but it's like, yeah, but and
Yeah.
what I really am is, I'm really weird. Like, who I really am is, I have pink hair, and I'm a time, space, and space hopping shaman, and I I I speak a light language all over the world, and I do all these bizarre things, and that's who I really am, and that's what really makes me
Mm.
happy. But try to tell that to the me before. But anyway, that's very long to say that we do. You just kind of have that inner knowing at first. Then once we can start clearing out all the static and all the noise, and that's what I love, helping people to, like, clear out this noise, because then once we can tap into this channel
Yeah.
and feel, our body is the most incredible divining rod. Our feeling, our emotions are literally guiding us, every step of the way. And
Mm,
when we can learn to understand the feeling states of our body, and it's quiet, we can listen to those, it's still that little voice.
mm.
It's the quiet one. It's the quiet one, and we can listen. It's like,
Yeah.
and I always say too, it's like, let it not make sense. It doesn't need to make sense. Does it give you a spark? Does it make you a little
Mm.
excited? That direction, and it gives you that inner knowing. It becomes stronger because then you don't question it. It's like, oh yeah, okay, okay, all right, yes, that doesn't make sense. Okay, I do it anyway. And before you know it, it's just like a sail, and you're really in flow. But like I said, I tell people it's just a little bit of a
Mm.
muscle, but once you develop it, man,
Oh,
magic happens.
Don't you guys love Darcy? I mean, I just recently got to know Darcy, and from the moment that I saw some of her videos, it was very clear what kind of soul she is and where how forward in the bus she's sitting, if you guys know what I mean. Um, she's just one of the front runners of light work. Um, and you have cleared so much in your life in such a short period of time that is almost like unbelievable. And people are saying like, oh my, I mean, how do you even do that? But if it's possible, it's possible because Darcy is sitting here and telling a story that just kind of started really impactful 5 years ago. I mean, that's like mind blowing.
Yeah.
So you're just such an incredible inspiration and such a wonderful light being. And we're going to get into a little more of what it is that you really do and how you serve people. But I wrote it down. Let it not make sense. Like, let it not make sense. I I really believed that the world was small. Like, I really believed that little Denmark was my home and I could go travel, but like I would stay put and I would stay there and I would do the things I'm supposed to be doing. And that's life. Like, that's lifetime. This is what we're supposed to do. And even though I had a knowledge really early on, that little voice, right? That said that no, there's like more. I think the first book I started reading was The Celestine Prophecy in ninth grade, and it blew my mind open. But the worst part is that I finished the book and I was like, where where is this stuff? Like, how do I grab hold of it? How do I meet people like that? And it was just totally anticlimactic. And I just fell down on the ground again. And I kind of went in, like, I just went smaller and dimmer because I truly didn't believe that anything was possible. It's in a book. So obviously it's just fiction, right? And for people who have read Celestine Prophecy, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just about energies and feeling people and that we're all vibrating and we're all kind of connected and there's more to life than we can see and all that good stuff. So let it not make sense. I love that. Darcy, what a great way of describing that voice because a lot of times it really does not make sense.
Yes, and I wanna add too, very important, is you don't need to make it make sense for other people. And
Mm.
that's, a big trap that we fall in because we worry that, like, "Yeah, this really makes no sense, and I'm gonna go, chunk my college degree to go, make sandcastles for a living," and then the family will be, "What? What? Are you crazy? Like, and it's like, "Oh," then we get this thing down to safety. I teach a whole thing about that, about freedom through safety, because I mean, the microsecond that it doesn't feel safe, it shuts our show down. But so important, we so many times try to make it make sense for other people, and they'll talk us away from what it is that we want because we want it to make sense for them and not look like, Miss Crazy Pants.
Yes, logical brain just takes over. Oh my gosh, I can just like think back of so many situations where that has happened, right? Yeah, and your light just kind of go dim again. And the logical brain takes over and said, "Oh yeah, that probably was a really bad idea. Yeah, yeah, they're right. Right? Yeah, that makes sense, right?" And we talk ourselves out of it again, and then it's going to be a while until it's kind of in our face again,
Yeah, and
literally.
I wanna say too, I mean, that's the biggest piece with intuition, and I teach, courses on intuition and channeling and automatic writing. It's one of my loves, and it's such a beautiful way to get tapped into your inner guidance system, and, so just sometimes we're gonna get, like, we're like, "Show me an answer," like, "Give me an answer," and a lot of times we'll think in, uh, pictures and symbols or imagery or thought forms before it's English words. And so sometimes, for example, and again, it's kind of through what I teach, but like, give me a sign, like, what's my next step? And I see a picture of a carrot come up. I'm like, what? What? What does that mean? A carrot? But then we get to interpret it for ourselves. Like, what does it mean? If we were playing pretend, like, what does that carrot mean to me? What does a carrot symbolize to me? That actually, I'm giving a real life example that happened here recently. I'm like, a carrot. But then what I got was that carrot was actually became carrots, as in Karats, as in diamonds. It was the
Oh,
diamonds, that about kind of like the diamonds were all around me, and all these carrots was to follow the carrots, that they were all around. And so, it's like,
wow.
these things can become revealed. But like I said, seemingly it makes no sense. A carrot, it makes no sense
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And, using our intuition, helping clients, it is really about trusting that what you're getting is right. It's just a matter of interpreting more accurately, right? And trusting that it does make sense on some level. We just don't always know how, and sometimes we have to kind of go through steps in life and then look back and like, oh, carrot makes sense now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense until we kind of down the road. So how do you serve people? Who do
Mm,
you work with,
mm,
and
mm.
what is it you do? You touched a little bit about it, but
Well,
tell
yeah,
us.
yeah. So, I more recently, I would say it's been 2 years, now, April, as a matter of fact. I have was gifted some extremely extraordinary, very unique abilities, that are, as I've come to understand, are extremely high level. Like, it blows my own mind, and it's a very fascinating story how that occurred. But just for time's sake, I'll just come follow me. You'll get to hear all my good details of my stories. But I've always, well, since I've been on the road, I've been teaching manifesting mastery, because, like I said, I've just figured a few things out about how to pop stuff into the material world. But, or I better say, I should say, and um, what came through for me is I have the ability to channel light language, sound, and frequency. And so, as a channel, how I channel, um, is I'm tapping literally into the quantum realm, energetic field, right? It's all energy. It's all energy. And so what comes through me is equally very futuristic technology. Imagine like scientific codes and uh, ET equations and all this stuff. It's equally as ancient
Mm.
technology. Imagine the likes of the mysteries of the pyramids. That is kind of a culmination of this. Also able to see, um, for people, their abilities and their gifts that are dormant. And so through the channeling that I do through sound and frequency, I'm just such a big if it has to do with sound or light or energy or frequency, cymatics is just a big study for me. And that's the science of sound and water and light, and how it heals the body. So when I'm channeling, what comes through is what I would say through light language. They are messages. They are. It's like if sound and light could speak, to deliver a activation on a subatomic level, like in the levels of the DNA, and even beyond the DNA. Because we came in here the most perfect template. I mean, we are the expression of God, him, her self. We just forgot. And along the way, all this programming or energetic imprints or things are ancestrally, epigenetics that aren't even ours that get caught, encapsulated as I see it, in our energetic field, that I'm able to go in through the channeling and the light language to be able to uh, transmute that and to activate things that have been turned off, or things that need to be turned on, or things literally get rearranged, and uh, deleting corrupted files, as I hear it. And so how I serve people is I combine the manifesting and using light language as a tool, to reach things energetically on levels that we're not able to reach here yet. And I say yet because we're evolving so quickly and so fast. But in the meantime, um, I say I I never say it to brag, but it blows my mind what comes through me. And because I often sit back and watch, as a channel, like I just kind of step back and let it come through, and I'm watching and I'm listening, and I'm like, you just can't make this stuff up. Like, it's so
Mm,
incredible. And the experiences people have had on the other side, it blow my own mind, I
mm.
mean, when my abilities came in, and the beings that I work with have really had to spend almost the first year convincing me, like, "You're not making this stuff up," I mean, like, "This is real. Yes,
Yeah,
you can heal a horse." Yes, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
So
long version, but it's just so fascinating.
it is super fascinating, and thank you for explaining a little bit kind of what it is that goes on and what we're tapping into, because I kind of speak similar language as you, but there might be people listening that don't quite understand what all that energy is about. So tell me a little bit about how you see people get stuck in life. So people that come and see you, what are they experiencing? And what is the QTMS
Yeah,
system that you have? How how does that transform, or not how, but what happens after
yeah.
this process?
Okay, got it. So, um, the people who come to me are, it's funny because it seems to be just a real, uh, I don't wanna use the word stereotypical, it's not the words I'm using, but a certain avatar.
Yeah.
There you go, it's a certain avatar. Typically women, midlife, who feel stuck, who have tried every modality, every technique, every healing, every class, every course, every book, everything, and it's just like, "What is it that I'm not getting?"
Yeah.
And also this sense too, it's like, I'm not doing what I was put here to do. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Some people, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do, but I know I'm supposed to be doing something. So, um, that's why I love how when the abilities came in, it intertwined so beautifully with the manifesting. Because there really are some laws of the universe and the way our universe works in the quantum field of how energy becomes matter, and how it is that we can literally use the power of our minds to create the reality that we desire. And again, and being able to tap in energetically into our body to be this guidance system of like, okay, oh yeah, okay, right, okay, I need to go to the right, okay, yeah, no, that's a definite no, don't go there. So, people come to me also that have had, physical
Mm.
issues, where they've had, like chronic migraines, or in the instance, of someone that I met recently whose horse, was actually having some, I would say, like, emotional type issues,
Mhm.
um, and so those 2 kinds of people come. What I'm able to do is to do what I call, it's kind of like a reset of your
Mm.
operating system. So a lot of times in traditional therapy or healing, like, we're going back at the peeling back the layers of the onion. We pull that one, we could do that, and we get there, and we're getting to the root of it. What's beautiful about what comes through me when I'm channeling in this way, there are others like me, by the way. Though I'm very unique, right? Everybody kind of has their own spin to it. There are others, but others will tell you the same. What happens here through this is that we literally start at the core. the core operating system. And every time that we work together, it's like adding another layer and another layer and another layer. They're helping you like literally expand out. So when we're expanding out, it's literally breaking apart the stuff that's misaligned, misinformed, and like I said, corrupted files. Some things literally with people with physical healings, it's literally biological, or it's a manifestation of a belief or a manifestation of trapped, stuck energy. Like I said, that's not even yours. That's from eons ago. And so when I go in, the beings that come. By the way, I'll say what's neat in working with people. Um, there are so many beings in my field. There are hundreds of them. I would even go so far as to say thousands. And the reason why I say thousands is because, for example, Trina, if I did a channeling with you, we'll tap into your field and you have all of your own beings and your star origins, your original star families, um, and ancestors and all of those that have been in your field since your very existence. Man, we open up that channel and they're all like, "Ew!" Like they're like, she's here, and they all clamor for the mic. um, but really, what happens is kind of depending on what we want to work with, the specialist will step up. So it may seem seemingly like, well, I'm really having this issue because I keep bumping up against these same loops and patterns about money, but
Mm,
that can just be on the surface. But like I said, so we need to go back here to the core and start working
got
out.
it.
So it may take a little time to pop that, but
Mm,
you when you are done with a session with me, you literally will have proof in your hands that you have shifted into a new timeline and a new reality. In the new reality is where new possibilities exist here in this frequency band that did not exist here in your prior frequency band. And this is where this
mm.
new things come live. And I tell people too, just because you're on a new timeline, you still got choice. We still got to make those choices. Should I, shouldn't I? Yes, no, I don't know. Yeah,
Oh, come
but
on,
yeah,
Darcy.
I wish I could say it's just a one and done, you're good. But I do
I
want to I
know.
want to make this point too. You said earlier about how, in a short time that I did, I literally just um and that's what I want people to know. It does not take years to make a change. It does not take years. It doesn't even take a day. Like literally in a moment, in a single belief, literally. And I say, like when I work with people, like you believe full heartedly that the work that you do with me or another practitioner, any practitioner, Reiki, um, theta healing, Akashic records, any of that stuff that full well, this is absolutely helping me to shift this right now. It literally happens right now. And that's how powerful that we are. And that's part of the process is that
Mm,
I, through what I teach too, is helping you remember you are your own greatest healer. You are
mm,
your own
mm,
medicine. You just forgot. And I help you remember that. And that's why I call it like a reattuning, realigning, recalibrating. It's a remembering of who you really are. And so that's what you
mm,
get when you work with me.
mm. So we're all looking for kind of shortcuts to make things faster and more efficient. And I love how the world is starting to work on a more complex level in this way, deeper level, a level that is more efficient for people because our society is now set up to the fact that we don't have much time for a lot of things, right? Because our focus is on a lot of other things than it was in the past when we were just at home
Yeah.
and not doing much, right? Just attending to, the farms or the crops and stuff, which is also a full-time job, obviously. But the world today is so complex and we need things to speed up, right? We need to raise consciousness in this world. We need to tap into that intuition so we can really make life worth living. I'm thinking about my previous interview with Greg from Stacey Lauren's group, and he is such a I can do it person. He reminds me a lot of you in that sense. You guys have done some
Yeah, we
crazy
have
stuff in
similar
life,
missions, right? Yeah.
and you have very similar missions, and I love that, because it's not so much about what time does in life, right? It's what you do with the time. This is the same with Julie Trainer and her group with grief and stuff. I mean, what is grief? Sure, it kind of goes through certain steps, and you bounce back and forth in different steps, but at the end of the day, I don't believe that time heals. It depends on what you choose today and how boldly you step into your new reality. And I can imagine that that is part of the stuff that you also do with manifestation. It's not just the idea, right? It's not just thinking about it. It's really stepping into what doesn't make sense. It's really trusting the process. It is trusting this energy, and then just watch yourself just liberate from stuff that you thought you were going to
Yeah, it
carry
is.
your whole life.
Now,
See,
if
like
by the
what
way, I
what have
want
you
to share this
seen?
piece of it too because of my journey, and what I say is that I'm going on a living spree, and I want everybody here to go on a living spree, and I call that goals, GOALS. You can going on livingspree.com. It's my brand, it's my moniker. So I'm all about this. Is that action, this piece of it. So on the other side of this, you working with me, you come into my world, and here's what you're going to get. Whew. Yeah, that that's what you're going to get. And I can guarantee it. I just got to help you remember. It's not the stuff that we want. Yeah, we want to travel. Yes, we want the perfect marriage and love, the extraordinary love, romance, passion. We want the things, but it's not the stuff that we want. It's the feeling state that we want. All
Mm,
burdens lifted.
mm,
I get to play,
yeah.
to do what I want, when I want, how I
Mm,
want, on my time.
mm,
Oh, yeah, that.
mm.
And if I knew how to put that in a bottle, I would, but that's yeah,
I was just
but
gonna say that,
yeah,
Darcy. I use that all the
but
time. Yeah, I
that's
hear
what
you.
you get when you work with me,
Mm,
is you get to remember,
mm,
you get to be your own
mm,
beautiful medicine with just the help. You
mm,
just need a guide, someone hold the light for you and say, "Hey,
mm,
over here," or like, "Okay, try
mm,
this." And I will tell you, speaking about own medicine, so, I'm a big advocate for plant medicines. A lot of my healing work that I did was through, plant medicine journeys. And, again, another story for another day, but what I wanna say is when my abilities came in, I was hosting, a women's, plant medicine retreat. So, of course, I would be going full in, I mean, that's what I do. And I got the day of that ceremony, absolutely not are you supposed to go in. Talk about not making sense. I'm like, "What?" I hear I'm an advocate for plant medicine. I bring all these people, they flew in from all over the country. They've paid thousands of dollars to be here. I'm like, "Oh, what?" And plus the FOMO, I mean, like, I wanted to experience the journey. It was not making sense at all, and it was like my body was seizing. It was like, "N no." And so the shaman came up, and I told her, I said, This is what I'm experiencing." She said, "Put your hand on your heart." She said, "What's the first thing you hear?" And it's always the first split second thing you hear. It's just a logical mind. If we wait even a split second longer, it takes over, and it was like, "It's no. It's no." I'm like, "It's no. It's no." And what I want to share is that I sat back and held space for all those people. But what ended up occurring was I went on the most profound, significant spiritual journey of my lifetime, and I wasn't even taking the plant medicine. And that's when I heard so clear, you don't need the medicines anymore. You are the medicine. You know, it's like we hear things and we get it, but then one day you get it. And I am the medicine. You
Mm.
are the medicine. You have everything you ever need equipped to create heaven on earth, period. And so that's part of what I do too in
Wow.
my teachings is helping you to remember how powerful of a generator, you are to create, you know, that we don't have to just keep digging up, as I say, digging up dead bodies and going and trauma digging and
Mm.
all that
Mm.
stuff. We don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And there is a point
Yeah.
at which it is important, you know, that we need to go retrieve some of those parts that are afraid. So that's important. But sometimes what I see happening now is people doing trauma work are becoming addicted to doing trauma work, and starts to become a distraction because it's like, oh, digging, digging, digging. But
Mm.
yeah,
This is so powerful, Darcy, and thank you for bringing that up. You know, I'm a trained therapist, and when I stepped into the therapy realms, I knew I was not going to stay there. I was not going to be the typical, in office therapist. I knew that there was a bigger calling for me. Hence, kind of my journey into healings and coaching and different holistic approaches to how can we go deeper and more profound without necessarily like lingering in the past. And what I noticed also is that the more we emphasize or that we go into these states of trauma, we we relive it and we bring it more to surface. And unless you are a highly experienced therapist and know exactly how to transmute that very quickly, it is an addiction both for the therapist to kind of rescue or be in that space with them, maybe because if they haven't really transformed their own. And
yeah,
this is no judgment on
same.
therapists at all. It is just kind of the awareness that we have and what we do with what we have. As you're saying, it's important to integrate those parts of us, but the focus really needs to be on how we want life to be and how opening up the possibilities of what I want, what can life even look like, and start creating that space. This is a space that was not possible for me when I was growing up. It was like dark curtains and glass ceilings, and it's like it's not even there. And as soon as I kind of started getting little peek holes out, that's the way out, and it kind of creates this ripple effect into healing other parts. Just like when we meditate, we we heal. We heal when we're in alignment. We heal when we're connected with source. You don't necessarily have to go digging to heal some of these parts because it happens along the journey.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
mean that we can't, right? It just means that there are quicker and faster ways and actually
yeah,
more comfortable ways than having to sit in those emotions that are really just lower hanging energy, right? Lower frequency energy. That's it. It's not real.
yeah,
It's just how
yeah,
we remember them. Instead,
yeah.
we want to come
I
higher,
wanna I
right?
wanna
We want
make
to be
another,
higher.
point on that too, is that because you said it, and this is the key too, especially when it comes to manifesting, it's where is your focus and where are you giving your energy and your power to? So if we're constantly have our focus on what was or how it's here, it's that lower, just like you said, it's that lower vibrational stuff. Again, not to dismiss it or to make it insignificant. I mean,
Mm.
my God, I mean, I have had really a traumatic experience in my, childhood at 5 when I was abducted by a stranger, and I'll just leave it the story there. But what I'm saying is I wanna be proof of that too, that if something that's so horrific that can happen, like, it doesn't have to consume your life or that you're stuck. But again, people think that, like, when I say to we literally, like, need to just erase the past and pretend like it didn't exist. And here's why I say this, okay? I don't want to say to pretend like it didn't exist or that it didn't happen. What I'm saying is you take the beautiful things that came from your past, all those gifts, all the gifts that you got from your lineage. Some people focus a lot too on all the bad things that came through their lineage. What if you focused on all the amazing gifts that the healers and the medicine women of your ancestors, that have come down to support you, and we call all that in. Where's your focus? Your focus is on the gifts. It's not on the
Yeah.
trauma drama of, this happened and God, um, I literally, in my mind, whoosh, blank out the past. I got to tell you, it's actually hard for me. On Facebook, we see all our Facebook memories and stuff. But I get to a point before, like, I left, and it's just like, uh, it conjures up a lot of stuff that I could really get easily sucked into. But I have to keep remind myself, even think that girl. But so
Mm,
I say this in the kindest, most loving way. But I mean, Joe Dispenza says it. Are you living from the memories of the past, or are you creating a vision of the future? Period. We're either
yeah.
living in an old
Yeah.
structure that keeps us limited and
Yeah.
bound and feeling crappy, or we've created a new structure that in our power, who we really are, and it's a constant state of focus. I'm going to tell you, every day for us, let's talk about building a muscle, of like choosing. It's like, okay, where's my focus? You even set timers on your phone as you're building that muscle to just go off, set it at different times of the day to go off. And then it's like, okay, where's my focus? Am I dwelling on some bull crap here? Am I being a powerful creator, or am I being like, no. So again, it takes that. But to me, I'm not defined by my past. I am not my past. I am not my history. I am right now Darcy Volden, sitting in this chair, who is a phenomenal creator. And again, I'm not dismissing my past and be like, la, 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 la. It's not relevant to who I am in this moment anymore. It got me here. Good. Let's carry
Yeah.
on.
It's just an experience. And where is our focus? What a great advice to everybody. We talk about it over and over again. The seeds that you water is what you're gonna see grow. And that doesn't mean that you ignore things. We can still acknowledge things have happened, but we get to write the story around that. The visual I got, Darcy, is like, I don't even like donuts, but it's like a donut. And can you imagine if you see a donut for the first time and then you see the hole, and it's like you're either excited about the donut or you're like wondering like why is there a hole? Why
Hole
is
in
it
this
not whole?
thing.
Like
I
did
didn't even get a
somebody like
whole donut.
cheat me from like the yeah, right? And it's the same thing, right? The whole experience is the same thing. It just depends on what you focus on. You can either have
I
like a
love it. It's the
missing
whole
donut or you're
experience.
like stuck in the hole. Ah! There we go. Oh my god, it's so funny. And it's just it is. It really is all about the focus. It really is about how you're gonna feel at the end of the day. And that is chosen by your focus. This is chosen by how you look back at your life, how you rewrite your future. This is a skill that is not inherent to us. We are
Yes,
wired to look for problems. Our animal brain is wired
we
to
want to
look
solve
for
it. We wanna fix
problems
it. We're
and
gonna fix it.
threat.
We're gonna fix the problem.
We want to fix it. We want to
Yeah,
create
so
problems to
we
fix it.
that's the other
Yeah.
key piece of this. Our logical mind loves the subconscious mind loves nothing more. Fix a problem, fix it. If I fix this, then that. If I can fix this, if I can do this, then if I can fix it. We're not fixing a problem. We're creating the answers. I mean, by the way, let me grab this right quick.
Sure.
I said that
Yeah.
um it's a muscle. It's a muscle. Don't mind my plug here, but I want to
Mm.
share with this is the Manifesting Your
Yeah.
Dreams journal. Um this
Mm.
is 21 days right here, and I've created a 21 days experience which Trina got to be a part of and be a wisdom keeper on that.
Yes.
This is to help you remember who you really, really are, and to really like where's your focus, and it'll help you build that muscle. And it's no ordinary journal, by the way. It's designed from just the best of the best manifesting greats. I told Trina, by the way, one of my little claims to fame is I used to uh, work with Dr. Joe Vitale and Bob Doyle from The Secret. Um, both phenomenal guys. That was my
Mm.
real first introduction really into law of attraction and manifesting and things like that. But um, my point is that this is so intentionally designed to move you through transformation and to like get that focus and that remembering so that yeah. It's also embedded with quantum
Yeah.
healing codes. It's got sacred chants that are embedded through there, and also literally channel light codes from me through that thing. Like it's like literally like consciousness happening on these pages. So
Mm.
I want to say that because before we hop off too, I want to make sure people know how to join that, because we're going to be doing another round of it. Trina, I don't know if you know about all that yet, because I just am
It's
announcing it.
it's so exciting. Yeah, it was such an honor to be part of that. And I love how it's a 20-day challenge, because it builds that muscle, it builds momentum. I'm all about momentum. I call it a love train. So when you're on the love train, there's a lot of gain, right? You keep following, having focus on what's possible instead of being on a complaint train, and you are just getting smaller and smaller because we see all the limitations, right? So having 20 days of guidance and prompting and education, wisdom, just filling your cup. You can choose to bathe in however much you want to bathe in. And I had a client follow your 21-day challenge too, and she just thanked me and was so amazed and impressed by what it had done to her. So it was such an honor to be a part of that. I can't wait to see what the next thing is going to do in
Yeah,
the next round.
yeah. So, and I want to make sure that I give you that URL for that, because I forgot to give it to you. But just going on a living spree
Mhm.
.com, that'll take you right out there.
Perfect.
Or go to my page darcyvolden.com, and you'll
Yeah.
see that there. And it is meant it is very consciously designed, because it's one thing to do this on your own, and it's one thing to work with another person one-on-one, but you get surrounded by a community. I mean, we
Mm.
start getting into the quantum realm and stuff like this, and the power of a group intention like that. And I will tell you, everybody that came out of that last challenge that took part in that, they will all tell you like something happened, like something like so massive happened. I mean, even I have never experienced anything like that. And you get that group of people together energetically and with a conscious intention.
Mm.
And I mean, magic cannot happen, but it helps you to stay in your game, because, and that's part of
Mm.
this. Can you do or not do something for 21 days in a row? It's designed
Mm.
to stir this stuff up, so
Mm.
let it come up. It comes up. Oh,
Yeah.
I've fear that came out of me about this. I was like, oh man, poof, pow, be gone. Like, and you start to see this stuff and like for
Yeah.
what it really is, and it's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I was buying into that crap. God,
Yeah.
yeah.
With that
Sometimes,
much momentum and with a group effect, you're not the same person at the end of it, because you help to step outside of your comfort zone enough that this creates a lot of momentum. So I love that. And we're going to put all the links in and
yeah,
how they can find you and for this challenge, making sure people can follow you and they can sign up for this.
and get the
It's
journal. Yeah,
it's such an honor to be here with you today. I could just feel the energy. I'm just like soaking it all in. I love being with light beings. I love having these conversations about higher consciousness and how we can help heal the world. And the people that you touch are now going to be able to have profound impacts on their families, on their surroundings. And that's what I love the most. I
yeah,
call it, your transformations lead to or change generations. Your transformations change generations. And for the people that are watching this and listening to this, I know you want an impact. I know you want more in life. Know that there is more to life. Otherwise, you would not be listening, you would not be here. And it all starts with getting on that train. It just always starts with taking action and allowing yourself. And I love how Darcy talks about, can I just do it for another day? Can I just do it for another day? Like that's how she does the 21 days. Am I correct? Right?
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
that's such a good way of doing it because we all kind of know you do it for 21 days or 30 days, it kind of creates the habit. But it's really more about kind of the commitment of the day. Okay, I did it today. Can I do another day? And can I do another day? And that's when you create momentum. And that's where you're going to look back and be like, I cannot believe that person a month ago or a
Yeah,
year ago or 5 years ago.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
just thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you come hop in on that challenge. Well, and what we do is, well, you get the journal. Um, I would love for everybody to take on. Can you do or not do the journal for 21 days in a row? But we also all take on something personal that's towards our big dream. But
Yeah.
you choose to do or not do something. Can you do it for 21 days in a row?
Mhm.
And it could simply be just like, okay, I want to just drink um, w- water every day for
Yeah.
21 days in a row because
Yeah.
you've got a health goal because like your dream is like I just want to be in this really amazing yummy delicious body. And okay, well, that starts with a little tiny step. Sometimes the boldest action you can take is one tiny little step. It's like just one little bottle of, by the way, I'm loving on this molecular hydrogen water is my shameless plug. We sharing lots about that, by the way. Anyway, whew, yeah.
I love that. So I really appreciate you being here with me today. You provide so much value and you're really taking just all of this to the next level. If anybody's out there listening and they're like, I'm just kind of stuck. I don't really know what to do. I kind of hear that voice, but I'm not sure if I really can trust it. What would be one advice that you have to people that are just not quite ready to make a commitment or don't really know how to get themselves unstuck?
Yeah, okay. First and foremost, the first thing I heard that popped through is get yourself in a community
Yeah.
of people, of like-minded people. Now, I know sometimes, we're really introverted and it's like, God, I just it's hard for me to be around people. But for example, like even in my group, when we do these the 21 days like that, it's okay to be off camera at first. Like I love and Stacy Lauren to do the thing. We got the comfort circle, okay?
Yeah.
But just putting your energy in another group and being able to know, like, you'll hear somebody say one little tiny sentence that's like, oh, she said, do it messy. Like, oh my God, I got permission to do it messy.
Yes.
That one little
Yeah.
sentence that you heard,
Yeah.
you're not going to hear it if you're sitting there at home
Yeah.
or possibly if you are just doing one-on-one. But first and foremost, get yourself in a community of, as I say, light-minded
Mm.
people.
Mm.
Okay, important. These are
Light-minded.
people
Ooh.
that are on the light path, that are seeking, the greatness in themselves in
Mm.
life. We don't want
Mm.
you to be around people that are commiserating. No, that is
Yeah.
serves you take you backwards. So get in community to that, and then also, find somebody, that can hold the light for you. Uh,
Mm.
I even offer a hold the bucket, by the way. I call them a hold the bucket session because sometimes, like energetically, like it needs to come out verbally, a sound and
Yeah.
gibberish and blah, 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 of like find somebody that can hold the light, hold your hand,
Mm.
like pick you up when you fall
Yeah.
down. Somebody that can see you bigger than you can see yourself right now, and
Yeah.
that's why I love the work that I do. Because sometimes
Mm.
you start this stuff, it sometimes it feels like you can't see, you
Mm.
can't feel, you can't hear, but all you know is, "I ain't this,
Yeah.
and I want something more in my life," and
Yeah.
again, I think a lot of people that find me have tried everything already, it's like,
Yeah.
God, what other clearing technique is there? Well,
I love that.
experience a galactic shaman here. I'll
Yeah,
help you experience something you've never experienced before.
I love that. Yeah, that's great advice. Getting in a community, getting that support, being around people that can uplift you, right? Kind of speak the same language as you, on the same light level as you, because it really does rewire you. The room rewires you. Get in the room, even if it's with the cameras off to begin with. Just watch yourself grow. It is just being in that space that just unfolds in a way that we
Yeah.
can't imagine sometimes. It's really unbelievable. And had we not done that, we would not have seen all of that. So I highly encourage you guys to check out what Darcy offers, sign up for the challenge, step outside of your comfort zone, get in the rooms, get in the community. Darcy has a beautiful Facebook group and community as well. So thank you so much for being here
Oh
with
my
me today.
gosh,
Thank you for
I
being here
love
with
these
my
opportunities
listeners.
to share.
It's been such a treat, and I love the
It's
pink
me.
hair. There's a whole story
There
behind
is
that
a
too.
whole story.
There's so many stories for another time. So
Yeah.
appreciate your time and what you do and what you offer to the world of raising consciousness and raising love and just being you. So you're such a gift. I
I
appreciate you so
receive
much.
that. I will receive.
And
Thank you.
And for our listeners, be well. I hope you enjoyed having Darcy with us today at the studio. Remember being true to the you inside you, and I will see you guys next time.